Buddy, this is Chase Petiche with Oracle Podcast. Hello, this is Chase Petiche with Oracle Podcast. Hi, guys. This is for the astrology of March 24th through 31st. We've got quite a few things going on this week. Honestly, it's kind of a wild time in astrology. Let's just get real. It's kind of a wild time. Energetically, I've just been picking up that it's this Mercury retrograde, this Venus retrograde, and then we're in the middle of eclipses currently as I'm recording this. And it's not easy. It's been, not only that, but I'll always say simultaneously we're in the year of the snake. Which is requiring primordial, fundamental, deep, intense, true shedding, authentic shedding. I've talked a lot about quantum healing. I talk a lot about alternate timelines and moving into different timelines, and that requires shedding. That process isn't quite easy. There's a death energy that goes with it. There's a void energy that goes with it. There's empowerment. There's also grief. This Venus retrograde, and it's continuing for the next few weeks. But this Venus retrograde has really forced a lot of us to have to really reassess our relationships, what we value, whether or not we're being valued, whether or not we're giving as much as what we're receiving. And if not, we're getting really clear on that, because it is the year of the snake. It is the divine feminine, the time of the sacred feminine, divine feminine rising, not just women, but that yin energy inside of all of us, that's starting to honor our intuition, our internal selves. Really fundamentally, I work with a lot of clients, and I hear a lot about people saying they don't know themselves. A lot of indecision can be part of that. What does it really mean to know yourself, or even the idea of know thyself, written over the Temple of Delphi, which was where the oracle was. What does that mean? What does that really mean to know thyself? What I have found in all of my studies of consciousness, my own consciousness, and through my own experience, is that to know myself means that I am in tune with spirit, and I listen to the guidance I am given, because it is the internal guidance that I am given, the guidance from spirit, the intuitive realm, the internal feelings, gut instincts, hunches, intuition, feelings, visions. That's the etheric spiritual part of my being that is connected to source. It's the part that's of source, the unity consciousness that lives inside of me, that is guiding me all the time towards my highest evolution, revolution. And so to know ourselves means to know that energy well, and to trust that energy implicitly. And the reason why a lot of us don't know ourselves is because we have been taught through the paradigm up until this point we have lived inside of, that our rational mind, meaning what we think we should do, what others are doing, what we're taught. What we're taught is generally what others are doing. It's keeping up with the Joneses. It's keeping the matrix alive. It's comparison. It's deadening. It's not creative. I mean, some of it is, I guess. But really, it's material. It's appearances. It's not spiritual. It's not authentic. So the reason why authenticity is on the rise and people are actually starting to ask this question, what does it mean to know thyself? It means that we're actually starting to tune into the spirit behind the matter. Before, we used to make all of our decisions based on the matter. And that's why it's been so boring and empty for a lot of us for a lot of years. Because you can feel when the decisions are made from that place, there's this kind of just deadening energy. I mean, it's not alive. It's not vibrant. In the episode, I just released an episode before this one called What is Wildness Really? I talked with my beautiful friend Jennifer Germano about what is wildness. And we both kind of agreed that it's this pulsing, vibrant energy of life, which runs through our intuition. It's our instinct. They're all connected. And that is the essence of creativity. That's the essence. It has our own personal, we all have our own personal energy signature. We all have our own personal energy that we are contributing to this unity consciousness. It's the paradox. We are all one. We are also all individuals. We are all beautiful, individual pieces of the whole. And as we're walking through that and we're remembering our own authentic energy signature and starting to work with that, realizing we are unique, we have something unique to bring. And in essence, it's getting to know our own essence. Our own essence. I love that word essence. We were talking about that at my Mystics Gathering the other week, what essence really is. It's a great way to understand yourself, to understand your energy signature. So when we're going through these retrogrades, the Venus retrograde, which is forcing us to have to look at whether or not we are being authentic to our needs, whether or not we're being authentic to whether or not we're giving and getting an equality. Remember, it should be the infinity loop. The infinity loop is infinity, right? Infinity only works when there's this flow of balance. Otherwise, it gets stuck and imbalanced, diseased. We've been stuck. That's what the yin and yang is. The yin and yang is simply the infinity loop, if you think about it. And we've been stuck in yang. Yang has been excessive. It's been rational. It's been assertive. It's been action-oriented. And we've been deficient in the yin, which is really the shadow, getting to know oneself, understanding oneself, one's motivations, one's internal truth, one's own essence. So as we walk through these Mercuries and Venus retrogrades, we're really reviewing right now where things have been off balance, because again, we're in this period of birth. We're in a birth canal right now. We had a Virgo full moon eclipse, blood moon eclipse. And through that process, there was a deep level of purification and shedding, discernment and shedding, service to the self. Virgo rules service to the self. What does that mean, to serve the self? What it means is, are you receiving adequately for what you are giving? Remember, that's really the key to self-worth. And so as we're all awakening together on planet Earth right now, most people have struggled with their self-worth, at least most people I know. That's how capitalism runs. That's how the old hierarchical systems ran, was to condition us towards imperfection, towards believing in our own imperfection. So we're constantly striving to be better. That's how we buy more things. That's why the Kardashians exist, right? And through that process, it's like you're never enough. And at the core, there's a deep well of worthlessness, which you can see in the Kardashians' energy signature. There's a deep trying energy. And so when we're pushing that hard, and we're, not in alignment exactly with our authenticity, what we're doing and through this time is really, really starting to pay attention to where and how things have been off kilter. And then, like I said, as we're all awakening to how we've been conditioned to our own worthlessness, what we're doing is we're actively all together starting to correct that. We're starting what that looks like, especially for the empaths of the world, the sensitive ones who tend to overgive, myself included, as that's been a pattern of mine most of my life, which I'm correcting now. But it's challenging, because what it requires is that you have to put up boundaries. You have to put up a boundary of self-respect, right? And starting to really see where maybe in the past you've overgiven, where things have been out of balance, where the infinity loop has been stuck, and starting to correct that. So it's we're in this birth canal right now, and we had this full moon eclipse in Virgo, which highlighted a bunch of things to purify. It also is highlighting the energy of shedding, because a full moon eclipse is about the culmination of something. It's about the release of something. And through that, we're in the portal in between the release and then the birth. So we're literally having another eclipse on March 29th, which is a solar eclipse. It's a partial solar eclipse in Aries, which we just had the spring equinox, which in all, traditions is the beginning of life here on planet Earth. We're at the beginning of a new cycle. This is actually the real beginning of the year. Is right now. This is when life begins. This is when the sprig of life starts to show. This is when the green starts to sprout from the earth. This is the same as the semen fertilizing the egg, as the first sprig of life coming up from the ground, as a mother birthing a child, as sex, fertility. This is the energy of spring. This is the energy of life. This is the energy of Aries. So we're coming into that energy at the very end of this month in this solar eclipse. And what I am feeling is that we're kind of in this in-between period where we let some things go. We're letting things go. We're feeling the void. I was just eating a lunch at this local restaurant. There's like 3 restaurants in Joshua Tree, but and there's this group of girls at the table next to me, and we were all talking about it. I was just talking to them and asking them what they've been feeling with the energies lately. And there's a bunch of Pisces in the group, and they were like stuck, confused, lonely. I've been hearing the same themes from a lot of different people, and I myself feel that as well. And it's what it feels like to me is that we're in the in-between period of something kind of dying and then something being born. And that's messy, it's confusing, it's uncertain, it's tiring. And then when things are, and then you're having to reassess where things have been off kilter and correct that, which is its own type of work. That takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of inner strength to do that. So yeah, that's kind of some energy that's going to be happening as we birth this new energy on March 29th. There's going to be an initiation And it's interesting because the astrology on the degree at which it's happening is 9 degrees Aries. So 9 degrees Aries, it's interesting because it's a 9 year, which is 2025 adds up to 9. 9 is a number of completion. It's also a number of rebirth. So as we complete a cycle, it's also this energy of the snake year. So there's this real kind of initiation energy I'm feeling. And what I've been kind of feeling in my bones, I was recalling like the year prior around this time, I was sitting up in a medicine ceremony, and I remember that it was actually in between eclipses at that time as well. And I remember in that room, I could feel the birth. It felt like this energy of the divine feminine came online. It was birthed. I could feel it, kind of its energy, I don't know, making itself known, awakening here on planet Earth. And that's really what the snake is about. It's awakening energy. That's why it's interesting as religions have demonized it, because it is the energy of yin and consciousness and the shadow and the earth and kundalini and the third eye. What does awakening mean? Right? It means awakening to the spirit behind matter, which is what the feminine element is, yin. And that's this year. So with this 9 energy on this new moon eclipse, we're going to be working with a real initiation of some powerful yin energetics. And what's interesting is that because it's in Aries, like I freaking love Aries. I have an Aries moon. I got Mars on my ascendant. Like Mars is ruled by Aries. It's the planet of action. And it's the planet of movement. It's the planet of being bold. It's very connected to the animal instinct inside. It's connected to the animal. It's wild. It's unruly. It's courageous. It's a warrior. It does what it wants, says what it wants. It's not afraid. And we need that in these times. We really need Aries energy in these times. Because there's just the fear body and the confusion and the chaos. It's like we need that. Aries is certain. It's bold. It knows where it's going. It's powerful. And it's going to give us that extra boost of just like, it's confident. And talk about know thyself. Aries knows itself. And it knows itself because it's connected to spirit. Because it's connected to the animal inside. It's connected to the wildness. So when you think about animals in the wild, right? Those animals that are not domesticated. And you think about, they don't use rationality. They don't talk with their mouths and say words. They say words other ways. They talk in different ways other than humans. A lot of it's through telepathy. They have different ways of communicating. It's the yin, it's the quantum. In a lot of ways, they're more advanced than us. We think we're the smartest species. I don't know if that's true. I think that they are very connected to their instincts. Their instincts. They're one with their instincts. Animals, there's no separation. Our rationality blocks us a lot of times from our instincts. So animals, there's no filter. It's just they're one, which means them and God, the spirit, the universe, the flow. They are one with it, and it leads them. So that's what instinct really is. That's how animals navigate themselves to a hunt. That's how I've got a great story about this. I remember one time I was in Hawaii with a girlfriend. I used to live in Hawaii, and a friend of mine, she took us to this place called Iao Valley. where there apparently was the most bloodiest battle in all of the Hawaiian Islands with King Kamehameha. And there's this whole fable about the Menehune, who were these ghosts that, anyway, it's a haunted valley. And if you ever look up what it looks like, it looks haunted. Anyway, my friend took me at sunset to go look at the sunset and on this Ariao Valley. It was gorgeous. And she's like, oh, I know a different way back. She starts leading us and starts getting darker and darker. And she starts panicking because she starts losing the way. And I can't believe I followed her the way I did. She was just losing her mind. I tripped and fell. I lost my shoes. I was wearing a skirt, a tank top, and a sweater. I lost my sandals. I remember having at one point, I was in the river and I had to climb up this wall that was like 40 feet. I don't know how I did all this. I guess I was scratched. I had no shoes. It got dark. It was in December. It was the coldest night of the year. There's supposed to be wild boars around. Had to sleep in the forest. Completely lost. And the next morning I was like so pissed because I was following her all around because she was losing her mind, and I was like, slow down and da da da. And then the next morning I was like, let me lead. And I remember I just was really quiet and I connected with the earth and I just sensed my way out. About 45 minutes later, we found the trail. Like, it was no joke. I completely led us without knowing anything, without knowing which way to go. I'm not saying I'm super special or anything, but I'm saying I tapped my instincts. And that's what animals do. So Aries energy has the power to tap instinct. It's kind of when you find yourself just like doing things that you don't even know why you're doing them. Try to pay attention, or maybe don't pay attention. No, it's good to pay attention because then you can kind of be aware of when the instinct is running through you, because a lot of times we stop our instincts from working through us because we're afraid, and we question ourselves, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? Which, remember, is all based in conditioning, human conditioning. There's a deeper wisdom at play inside of us at all times that actually knows which way to go, if we can release and trust and live in the mystery of not knowing how we know and trusting. So, sometimes you just find yourself doing things and you'll just do them and you just are like, do. Isn't that great when that happens? We kind of let go of the mind and we just do things. So that's Aries energy. And it's led by something deeper. It's primal. It's sexual. It represents life, spring. It represents power, the power to move worlds. It's the Big Bang. It's the beginning. And we're at a powerful beginning point right now, you guys. And so as we move through this portal right now between eclipses, where we're shedding the old, we're in the void, and we're bringing in the new. Be gentle with yourself. I've been crying a lot, and I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on, where the tears are coming from. In my bones, I feel like I'm just releasing the old, just processing and releasing, because I can feel a new wave is coming, and I'm making room, and it's sacred and it's holy, and I'm just sitting in it. I'm just sitting in it. The other big thing that's happening this week is actually pretty freaking big, which is Neptune entering Aries, which Neptune was not. I actually have to look this up because I want to know when it was. When was last time? Okay, the last time Neptune was in Aries was 1861. Wow, that's almost 200 years ago. Wow. So it was the beginning of the American Civil War. That's great. And there was explosive technological change, massive identity shifts. But really, Neptune is the planet, it really is the planet of vision and spirituality. It's called the Great Dissolver. What I see kind of happening with Neptune and Aries, what the download I'm getting is that it's going to give us the power to act on our visions. So Neptune rules vision. It actually kind of is the planet of quantum healing and quantum time and shifting timelines and moving beyond the material. And it's the planet of unconditional love, of unity consciousness. It also can be a planet of illusion or deception or being foggy, but it's at it's literally about to go. Neptune just completed a 200-year cycle, and it's back in the very beginning of the zodiac again. This is a really big deal. Anything that's going back into the first degree of Aries, 0 degree of Aries, that's the very beginning of life. It's a brand new cycle. So, it's interesting because, I've been talking a lot about quantum healing and the quantum realm and shifting timelines. And, Neptune in Pisces, that's its home. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. So I've talked a bit about Pisces on here, quite a bit if you guys don't remember, but it's like, Pisces is very much about the etheric. It's about the emotion. It's about the energy. And all I've been saying this whole time is that we're moving into a quantum era where we start valuing the energy beyond matter, right? But Neptune and Pisces, it's like, it sometimes can be really elusive. It sometimes can be confusing. It sometimes can be, it's hard to understand fully. It's like visions and things that are in and out of consciousness. Neptune in Aries is going to give us, there's going to be that primal energy that's coming in with it. It's going to give us that extra bit of like instinct to act on what we're seeing, feeling on the spiritual realm. So Aries is really very much about action. There's also the energy of the spiritual warrior. So it's going to give us the faith because it has so much boldness, Aries. It's so bold. It's going to give us the faith to shift into these new visionary dynamics that we're kind of, the things that we're envisioning. Because that is what is happening right now. Like, if we can move past all the confusion and get past the rhetoric and the back and forth of whatever bullshit wars are going on, and we can step into that, into ourselves, to know thyself, into our intuition, into our instinct, because of all of the division and because of that, things are breaking down, right? Something's not working correctly. Things are out of balance, right? There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of ego death happening. Through that process, what's happening is if we can take a step back, it's employing vision because there's a new energy that's being birthed. Because there's nothing harmonious in all of that. It's hard to build anything. It's chaotic. But if we step back through that process, this is kind of how it works. Things are so at odds against each other that it births a third thing. And that's kind of like the vision that we're getting of the future. So this is a sacred time. I know I've been getting visions of the future, and it really comes down to us trusting what we feel, and then also realizing at the core that we are the ones that are going to be creating the new world. taking responsibility for the visions you are receiving and beginning to act on them, which means starting to employ the depths of your spiritual power. So, no small thing, but I'm here for you guys. Yeah, it's a powerful time. And I keep saying, I'll repeat this. I'll always repeat this. It's, this great change is happening through us, not to us. We must act. We must create. We must take responsibility. Instead of pointing the finger to all the bullshit out in the world, point the finger back to the self and say, how can what's the change I want to see in the world? And how can I be that thing? Genuinely, if there was ever a time in human history to really employ that and believe that, to do that, to act on that, now is the time. So I would challenge you all to ask yourself that question and remember, your visions are sacred. They're not something to dismiss. Your ideas, the things that are popping into your head, your dreams, they're all important. They're giving you information. Whether or not you follow that information, whether or not you trust that information, that's up to you. But remember, that's the journey into knowing thyself. So that is kind of everything I think I wanted to share today. Thanks for listening. And if you guys have any questions, you can always email me, info@chasepetiche.com. I love you and blessings to you on this holy time of transformation. Okay, love.